Hello. So, another realization I had when I was going through my sort of awakening and healing process was the realization that I am not my thoughts, that I'm not this identity, that I'm not this ego, this thing that I'm trying to chase. And it brought me a lot of peace to have this realization. It brought me a lot of joy in the moment to realize something that I had to drop. And you can't hold on to anything to give you joy. You can't hold on to anything to give you that peace. It cannot come from outside of you. It's something that you have always. And it's just, we just forget what that is, or we don't realize we have that in the first place. So we stop being still and we stop being with ourselves, and we lose that relationship with our true self, not this egoic version. So you've got to drop all of these identities. You're not your name, you're not your job, you're not this role you play. All of that stuff is helpful, and you need to use that to navigate in the world. But once you realize it's all false and that you cannot find any salvation in that, you cannot find any joy in that, you realize it's all play, it's all form, it's all something to just be observed and rather not take too serious. Now, it's very difficult. I understand that. I understand it's very difficult. So to drop all of that, all you got to do is be aware, and you got to have this devotion to overcome this. A devotion is better than a discipline because devotion has this implication of love. And all I mean by devotion is non judgment. So when you don't judge yourself, that's when you drop the labels. You don't judge others. And that's what true forgiveness is. It's the lack of judgment. You see everybody as this unfolding, everyone's unfolding from this fallen state we're all in, of trying to chase these worldly pleasures and trying to seek ourselves in all of these pleasures. Like I said, you are not any of this. You're not your identity. You got to drop everything. Everything needs to go, and realize you have the answer. You have the ace up your sleeve. You have all of this, and it's all inside of you. And it's cheesy, and it's so well played out. It's so cliche, but this is the realization I had, and it comes and goes, but it's always there in the background, whether I realize it or not. I have to devote myself to these disciplines, these rituals I go through every day to remind myself. And I try to get to the coffee shop at 7 a.m. every morning, sometimes even earlier, and I just sit there. I just be with myself, and I do a checkup of myself. I do this: what's my agenda? What do I want to happen today? What do I not want to happen? What am I afraid of happening? What will mean if this happens? What will it mean for me if that happens? All of these ideas I keep, and to the forefront of my mind. Bring them to the forefront of my mind. Bring them out of the subconscious where they can't control me anymore. Because a lot of the time we're acting out of fear or acting out of not wanting things to happen. But it's not necessarily true that we're trying to avoid it consciously. It's that we don't realize that we're on autopilot, and a lot of our behavior is being driven by these subtle nudges off course. And an example of that is getting home and doom scrolling. You get home from work, and the first thing you do is you've had all of this pent up tension because you've not been real. Let's face it, when we're at work or we're in situations like our job where we cannot speak our minds, we repress ourselves, we repress our true nature. So it becomes stressful, and that's what tiredness is, really. It's not being able to be true to ourselves. If we were true to ourselves, and what I mean by that is being able to say whatever you want, that wouldn't require any energy. But because we're repressing ourselves all day, we get home and that energy is still with us. That tension, that not wanting to see what's inside, that form of self-repression, because we're afraid. Like, we don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to get fired. We have to play a role. And it's exhausting. That's where the tiredness comes from. And that's the nudge, of course. We get home, we doom scroll. We don't want to feel that feeling. So you've got to drop that as well. And when I say drop identities, you've got to play the role, but play the role from somebody that knows that they're playing a role. And a lot of people are playing roles without realizing it's just a role. It's just an identity. It's just something you're putting on, slipping on every day to try and take on the world. Just protection. And that's what ego is. It's just protection from not wanting to feel uncomfortable, not wanting to feel whatever's down there, whatever that feeling is. And I know a lot of guys that watch my videos or take on my coaching, take on my personal coaching. They have a sense of this in the beginning, and I think a lot of guys already get that sense that there is something to more to them, and they have that glimpse. But the beautiful thing about this is that once you do have that glimpse of the realness, you want more of it, but you know it's always there. Like, you kind of know on some level that it's always there. And building that awareness comes from practice. It comes from seeing the not you, and that's how you drop it. All you got to do is see. All you've got to do is see. And then the more that you see, the more that you realize on some spiritual or fundamental level. And like I say all the time, don't get caught up on the word of God, like the word itself, God, the baggage and the connotations that come with the word of God, or the actual word itself, God, comes with a lot of emotional labeling. God shines through you. God's will be done. You're not in control. It's God that wants the best for you. But if you turn your back on him and you play God, that's where the problems start. And we play God because we get turned away from him when we're younger. We get turned away from our essence, our true. We are created in his image, right? So we are turning away from that because we believe on some level that we aren't that. And then we turn away from it. So then everything becomes about protection. We're always sort of an edge. We're always holding back, and that's exhausting. So it's a very esoteric topic, and you can experience this from just your day-to-day life. You don't need to go become a monk and live in the caves, or become extremely religious or devout yourself to Christianity or Buddhism or Hinduism. You can't do it because you don't need to do it. I mean, it's salvation is here and now. You can have it now. It's just a realization, and it's just about seeing what's not true. And that's how you drop these identities. And you'll start to notice in your life that life catches up with you. Life will start working for you. Instead of fighting with life, trying to prove, trying to be, trying to do all of these things, trying, and effort, so much work, trying to be a certain way, trying to be disciplined, trying to be confident, trying to be successful or have status. You drop all of that. And then the paradoxical thing is that all of that will come to you. That comes through the back door, as they say. That's a transient, that's an emergent property of this. That's an emergent property of letting go, of giving up these identities, which don't serve you. They seem to serve you at a certain point, and they are useful in the practicality of the world. You need to know your status or hierarchy, where you are in a hierarchy. But the issue is when you don't realize that you're playing that and you're attached to that. That's why the ego causes trouble. It's not that the role itself isn't the problem. It's the playing and the attachment to that and believing in that. And letting go that's what letting go is. It's not moving away from the world. It's moving away from yourself into the world, moving away from these roles into the world. And you'll start to notice you slow down, and you'll see the day unfold completely different. You'll see yourself, you'll catch yourself go to respond to certain situations, and you just watch, and you're much calmer, and you become that kind of masculine rock that you don't realize that's what you're actually chasing. You're chasing that peace. In all of these things, we're looking for peace. We're looking for a calmness, not the other way around. We think that when we get the woman or to get the money, then the peace will come. You find the peace as you go on that journey, and then it comes. It's completely different. It's a completely different perspective. So I hope that helps. I hope that hasn't confused you, but I'm going to keep making videos in this format. My phone's broken, so I can't make any videos, but we'll just do some voice recordings like this. If you want to subscribe, that would be amazing. If you're interested in my personal coaching, then go to the link in the description or the link in the first comment. And yeah, see you on the other side, guys. It's been an eye-opening journey for me, and I hope you guys can have that as well. Peace.